Welcome back to Explorer. I want to thank you for joining. If you've noticed across the continent of Africa, Gabon, Togo have recently joined the Commonwealth. There are a number of things happening. The trend is flowing within the continent of Africa, and France is paying a lot of attention in the region. In this episode, I will be looking at the reason why Gabon and Togo have abandoned France in the continent of Africa and jumped to the bandwagon for the Commonwealth. So without any more delay, let's just dive straight into it. The two African countries of Gabon and Togo. These two African countries were once considered France's backyard, ruled by dynastic dictatorship supported by Paris. The pivot to the Anglophone community is therefore seen as the latest blow for France in Africa, coming on the back of successive coups in Mali, Guinea, and also Burkina Faso to overthrow pro-French leaders. It is certainly not good news for France, according to expert G. Yabi, the Dakar-based economist and political analyst at the West African think tank known as the WATI. It perceived as a blow, according to him, as a confirmation of an evolving relationship with France and the fact that France is no longer necessarily the kind of exclusive and special partner of those countries with regards to their pre- and post-historic independent period. Both countries, Gabon and Togo we are talking about here, said that the key reason and motivation to join the Commonwealth was exposure to the Anglophone world of business and development partners. Many people living in former French countries believe that British or the Britain former colonies have developed at a much faster rate than their Francophone countries. People, according to those different experts, people are extremely excited, said Nima Yusuf, an expert who is a project manager at the ESPS, a fund investing in Gabonese entrepreneurship within that region. They also see that they look at countries like Rwanda, which used to be a Francophone but is now part of the Commonwealth, and sought benefits that it has for so many years have not. And Rwanda has transformed rapidly, considering the immense relationship with other parts of the world. They are excited about investment and feasibility and partnership that are very important within the Commonwealth and other nations that are open up to doing business within different countries around the world, as compared to those French countries that are controlled and basically put in a particular circle with regards to the Francophonie. If you look at this particular trend within the region, anti-French sentiment worries leaders which have much ties with France. Another very important reason is that African leaders with strong ties to France are keen to distance themselves from Paris, to ward off civil society's opposition group leveling criticism against governments across the region because of the connections. The military coup in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Guinea enjoyed widespread popular support because they deposed leaders that profited from strong relations with France, paying less attention to the rising economic and security issues. When Burkina Faso's president, Roch-Marc Christian Kabore, was overthrown by the army in January, it was reported that France offered to evacuate him from the capital city of Ouagadougou. Kemi Seba, a leading anti-colonial figure in Francophone Africa, said those events in the Sahel has reverberated across the Francophone Africa, solidifying anti-French sentiment. If you look at different aspects, the example of Mali, Burkina Faso and Guinea has created a boost in Francophone Africa and will help similar ways of thinking in other countries across the region. According to this expert, he thinks that by the end of the year and the beginning of next year, there will be one or more two more regimes within the region that was going to be looking at different transformation. We all will remain to see how this will play out within the continent of Africa and that particular region. These will be some of the concerns for the presidents of Togo, Gabon, who have benefited a lot and enormously from the links to France. Both leaders inherited powers from their fathers, who used links with France to quash rebellion and keep a tight grip on power. Indeed, since 1967, the Yandema and the Bongos family have held the presidency uninterrupted in Togo and Gabon, respectively, except for a 5-month gap in 2009 and later years. Looking at other areas, the relationships were very personal, characterized by direct links to several presidents in France's management style of its own former colonies, known collectively as La Francophonie. The leaders of Togo and Gabon are definitely following the situations and also perceptions of the young generation that is very negative towards France. According to experts, the specific move of going towards the Commonwealth may actually bring some popularity to the Togolese and Gabonese government because of the current anti-French sentiment that has spread across the region. If you look at the outward shift, the question now is how the shift away from France in certain African countries will affect others in the region. Two of the last remaining strongholds for France's influence are Senegal and Ivory Coast, Francophones Africa's largest economies. The leaders of both countries remain strong ties to France and will likely be even greater importance to Paris after the loss of other allies. France officials have made few public comments about Gabon and Togo joining Commonwealth, but off record, based on my research, they are beginning to scratch their head with regards to why France and Paris is unhappy with regards to this particular move with regards to Gabon and also Togo. Historically, France has been willing to turn a blind eye to human rights abuses and dictatorship in exchange for influence and power. Some analysts are concerned that a loss of power in the region will reinforce France's support for questionable leaders who remain faithful to Paris. The situation in Senegal will be a good indication of France's next move, where President Macky Sall is toying with the idea of running for a third term. Senegal's leading opposition figure, Ousmane Sonko, is far more anti-France than its incumbent, Sall, which increased the likelihood that Paris will run a blind eye to future electoral tricky. Analysts say, according to Sonko has drummed up scores for the presidency by claiming that Sall and his family have enriched themselves through several dodgy tracks with regards to France's company. France made no comments when the government barred key opposition candidates, including Sonko, from running in legislative election which was held at that particular period on flimsy grounds. It remains to be seen how France will react if Sall announced he will run for a third term, which is still not certain. As of 2020, similar events in Ivory Coast saw President Alassane Ouattara extended term limits to win a third term with little objection from France. There are lots of things happening within the continent of Africa and West Africa in particular. We shall be looking on how France navigate this particular relationship in the region. But again, Gabon and Togo have made a huge decision to jump ship and move ahead with their own opportunities and looking at new development within the region and look for other opportunities around the world. I want to thank you for watching. Let us know what you think with regards to Gabon's options and what are the options for Togo. And what do you think are the main reason? Is this move going to be benefiting them in the future? We would like to hear from you. Leave us a comment and keep the conversation going. We are looking forward to meeting you in our next episode. If you are new to this channel, we encourage you to check some of our informative video on this YouTube channel. We are looking forward to meeting you soon in our next episode. Have a good day. Bye-bye.